So welcome back, friends. Thanks for coming and checking me out again. And if you're a regular subscriber, thanks for coming back. And if you've not seen any of my content before, if you've seen a few videos and you fancy seeing some more, it helps you if you hit the subscribe button down below, and then you can join the gang. It'd be much appreciated. So today's video is another Steeldive review. I want to really first of all start by saying thank you to steeldiveuk.com for lending me this watch. It's a new release and I was so excited to see it, because personally I used to have this watch, or the watch this is paying homage to, the Tudor Black Bay 58. I had that on my list as a grail watch. When I went watch shopping, I decided not to get it in the end because it just was a bit too much for me, and also felt a little bit top heavy on my wrist when I was comparing it to other watches I was trying on. So how well have Steeldive done and making an homage for about £125 for a watch that costs over £2,500? Let's check it out. Now, before I flip the camera around and show you the watch close up under the studio setting, I thought it'd be nice to introduce this beautiful watch to you in a little slideshow I've done, 30 seconds long, of the watch out in the sunlight. And it's a good looking beast, so enjoy. So here we have it. This is my first impressions video, so I don't go into as much detail in these first videos about little things I may have noticed, may have had time to think about more. So yeah, the first impressions video really is me running through the stats and the specs, initial things I have seen or I can really describe to you guys. And it's a good start for me to then give you a taster for when we've had the watch a bit longer. I can do a more in-depth review. So let's start with stats and specs. So let's start with the dimensions of this watch. Now, case size is a 41. The thickness is 15. This lovely big screw-in crown is 7.8. The lug width is 22. You can see. And the lug to lug, they all come on rubber straps, these SD1958, so it's just under 50mm, and you see it's quite a flat design and it smudges very easily. So yeah, it's a very flat design, there's not much curve to those lugs. So that's the dimensions. And the strap, or another thing I want to mention, the strap is 22mm straight all the way down on both sides with a very large buckle. Let's see how large this buckle is. Its widest point, it's only 33mm wide. And for reference, the marathon I'm wearing, case size is 34. So that buckle is nearly as wide as my marathon mil-spec watch. So it's a chunky watch. So that's the initial thing that you're going to notice. So that's the sizing. So now let's see how much it weighs with the trusty Gipas over here. Gipas will tell us the weight on this rubber strap. 117, 118. So it's still relatively heavy considering it is only on a rubber strap. So if it was on a bracelet, I'm reckoning it'll be about 170 to 180 maybe. But they're putting them on rubber straps because they're still working on the quality overall of their bracelets. They're steel bracelets. The rubber's acceptable. It's a decent enough thickness and it does get thinner as you get to the end. But I think they could still do better with, I really wish they could put these on, because it's from the era, tropic style rubber straps. I mean, they just look so much better and they're more in keeping with this design. But a lot of people do like this design, don't get me wrong. It's great for water to drain away if you get the watch wet, and it's obviously very good for water breathability. So the construction of the case, etc., is stainless steel, and the movement inside is the trusty buy in bulk Seiko NH35 with hacking and hand winding. And being that movement, it's going to have, I'm going to unscrew this crown. So it's 200 meters resist. Has the ghost position, so probably can't hear it, but it's clicking away. There's a date wheel in there, but you can't see it. So that's what you get with these entry-level watches. They buy the movements that have date complication. Then if the dial design doesn't have a window, it's just one of those things. But then all the way out for the time adjust. And it has hacking and hand winding, 41-hour power reserve, 21,600 beat. And I haven't timed this one yet because I haven't had it for very long, but they're generally very good, you know. I wouldn't be concerned. Screwing, the first thing, this crown is amazing. It's got a lovely, it's great size. That's my initial impression there. The crown is really good. It screws in nicely, threads really easily. I've had problems with some previous watches, especially San Martin's lately. The crown threading, they just seem to be a bit sloppy on some of these Chinese made watches. But I've not had any issues with any of the Steeldives, that's for sure. This one's it's perfect. Nice quality threading going on. Really easy to get a good grip on there. And it has the obligatory signed crown with the Steeldive logo on there. Polished sides, which I don't really like when it's a massive slab-sided watch, because it really just shows fingerprints so badly. But you know, that's just one of those things. This is a lovely bit of sapphire here. Look how raised that is. That adds to the thickness. So you've got sapphire with that strong bluey tinge. You can see it even under these lights. I'm just going to polish it. So yeah, it's got bluish AR coating. And look at those lovely applied indices. Everything lines up really well. I do like the 12, 3, 6 and 9. A little bit more Explorer-esque. Obviously the Tudors, they have done this dial design, so it's paying homage to that. They do ones without the Arabics on there. I like that this one, they've done that. And they've got the snowflake hands as well, which are a good length. Look at that minute hand, goes right out to the minute track. And the second hand, the tip of it, touches the same place, which is fantastic. It's good to get the, sorry, I bashed the camera. It's really good to get the lengths of these things right, because it's easy to mess that up and just have hands that are just out of proportion. And that looks like they've nice thick amount of loom in there. So while we're on the subject of loom, let's check that out. So this loom, as you would expect with Steeldive, is exceptionally good. Look how even and balanced it is on the ceramic bezel insert and on the hands and the indices on the dial area. That is really nice. It's a lovely strong blue colour. I am very impressed. It's, as always, what you get with a Steeldive watch, definitely. So yeah, that ceramic bezel insert has loads of loom loaded in there, which is lovely. So let's see what the bezel action is like. So I know that is a good taste of build integrity and build quality, is the feel of a bezel rotation. 120 click, my first time doing this. That is fantastic. It feels very precise, every single click. No play at all. See, no back play, no rock. They're getting good at this, you know, guys. They've had a few moments when they were a little bit dodgy in the past, but this is their best. I must say, I'm being genuinely honest, this is the best I've felt yet from Steeldive for a bezel feel. The fact that crown is so smooth in screwing in, everything lines up really well. That's a really good indicator as well. There's no quality control errors there, no fluff under the dial, lovely matte black dial. And then check out the brushing here. It's got very nice blend between these lugs here on the top. Then you've got a polished bevel edge on there and obviously polished sides. So you know what, I think this initially, because it's just first impressions, just I'm thinking out loud really here, because as I'm looking at the watch, I'm just getting ideas as I look at it really. I think this would help if this did have longitudinally brushed sides, and then the only polished bit would be to break up all that brushed aspect, if it had that, would be to keep these beveled edges polished. I think personally that would look awesome. And it would be nice just to have a splash of colour. if there was that little bit of colour, anodised ring here, and that part of the crown maybe, just to add that bit of extra detail on the crown aspect. And there are other colours as well. You don't have to have this black, all black option. There's blue and a green, which again is fantastic. With but again, because it's a 22mm lug width, you can swap these straps out. You can get so much choice with different straps. Put it on a gorgeous vintage Bond NATO, or you could put this on a brown leather because it's a vintage style looking watch. Oh, you are spoiled for choice with this, especially the black one. It's a strap monster. It'll work with so many straps. So if you want to keep it with the standard rubber when you want to get it wet, you won't be disappointed. But if you don't like the design, as I've said, there are so many choices available. But the watch itself, I am very impressed, I must say. I'll show you again on my wrist. So there's plenty of strap adjustment. You can see I'm not even halfway. So you can go, if you've got a really big wrist, this will fit you. And it'll go down to probably a 6.5, maybe down to a 6-inch wrist. So I have a 7-inch wrist. So plenty of scope there for who it would fit. And even though it's quite a long watch at 40, just under 50mm long, the lugs aren't too long, and they do seem to fit well on my wrist. Actually, it's really comfortable. There's not much wobble or feeling of imbalance. It probably would feel so. I wouldn't, going back to the actually strap ideas, I think this would, even though it looked nice on a NATO, on your wrist it would jump it up a bit too much. It's 15mm thick. It's quite chunky, you know. That is really thick. And if you add an extra 2mm by having a NATO in there, because all the extra material passing underneath here, it would make it just quite top heavy, or very top heavy in fact. So going back to my recommendations to get this even better for comfort and fit, definitely a different rubber as well as lovely leather straps. You could have rubber for days you're going to get it wet, and leather if you want to make it a bit more smart casual or even formal. So it's a very versatile watch. That's what I'm getting at. It's a very versatile watch. I do like this detailed case back, which states obviously it's 200 meters dive, NH35, automatic, stainless steel. It's great. It's lovely, again, lovely finishing. And even the underside's well finished. Look at all that. Brushing's really smooth, no sharp edges anywhere. It's been nicely honed. This watch is about £125, guys. That is great. You've got to remember that. That value for money, which is what they're known for. They are definitely upping their game. I'm noticing that. I've reviewed quite a few Steeldives, and the quality, as we've been going along, they are improving and progressing even further, and the pricing is staying extremely good and competitive. So we're the guys that benefit, really good. So just a short video today. Well, say it's only been 12 minutes. I like to waffle, but I'll try and be thorough even on my first impressions, just to show you up close what to expect with these watches and how much of a smudge fest they are when you get them up close. Let's get my polishing cloth. But this, for the money, as I've said before, is outstanding. Loom, reliable Japanese movement. All the quality control is fantastic. With the finishing, it's obviously aesthetically pleasing. If you like vintage watch like the Tudor Black Bay, etc., this is a really stylish watch. And downsides, I'd say, is a little bit heavy on all the polishing aspects, too much of that, and the strap design doesn't quite go with this beautiful watch. And I think it could do with a bit more colour in there on this all black version, but then you can have a blue or a green, so you've got some great choices. So really good start, Steeldive. I look forward to experiencing some more time with you and then sharing that with you guys, who I very much enjoy sharing this content with. And I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. And if you've liked this video, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're a subscriber, I'm very happy you're part of the gang. It's a joy to share this content with you. And I very much look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now.